Welcome back to episode 90 of the Disorganized Wizard Club podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hey.
And we're a group of auto-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Definitely.
Most certainly.
Not even a little bit hopeful.
For 90 weeks running.
Yeah. Factually.
Episode 90. That's a lot.
It's a lot. We're almost at 100, guys.
Almost keeping it 100.
90. That's an A. It's quality content.
Yeah, that is quality content. You know, I like to think that we've kept it fresh, you know? That we've evolved and grown and improved at our podcasting skills over this time.
Every once in a while, I think that, you know, like, there can't be that, like, sometimes we, like, have to brainstorm a bit to, like, come up with a topic. But every week we have something that we haven't really talked about before, despite it having gone for 90 episodes. And then I think about, like, any social situation where there's multiple Magic people. And over the past 3 years, we've only ever talked about Magic, and we continually have new things to talk about.
Yeah, it's a changing game. It's dynamic. It's complicated. There's a lot going on. Like, when you think about it, I mean, there's, like, sports podcasts that are, like, 3 hours long every 2 days, right? And they, like, our podcast is pretty short comparatively. Like, we like to keep it around an hour. But when you think about, like, podcasts nowadays are, like, 2.5, 3 hours a lot of times. Like,
Those are just movies.
yeah. Like, we could do that.
Probably.
We want to keep it digestible, you know?
Yeah.
And focused. That was a big part of our change from the early episodes. You know, we had a podcast meeting back in the day, like a year and a half, about really kind of like, what do we want the podcast to be? Like, what's its identity? Remember? And we sort of said, okay, well, like, let's make it about getting better because we suck and we want to get good. I want to help everybody else suck less.
And then a year and a half later, we still suck.
But we suck less.
We suck less than before.
Yeah. It's like my favorite Samuel Beckett quote. He's like this, he's an author, playwright. He has this quote. It's like, fail again, fail better. Yeah. He wrote Waiting for a Godot.
Well said.
Yeah, it's a great quote, yeah.
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about this week. Coming off pre-release weekend with Ep.90 pre-release. I played one event. You guys played a couple events too.
Yeah. I had a great time.
Yeah. And Core Set Limited is Core Set Limited. Anyone who hasn't played Core Set Limited before, it's just fine. Stats mean a lot. It's, you know.
Yeah, the red zone means a lot. Like, attacking and blocking is important.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as Dominaria, but it was definitely better than Ixalan. So, you know, it was
thumbs
good.
up. Yeah, as long as we stay away from that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dominaria was.
I mean, Ixalan was a lot of putting an enchantment on a creature and then the other person losing, and I had that experience.
Yeah, you can kind of do that in this format, but it's not the dominating feature, which is what it felt like in Ixalan.
Right. It's not it's not the defining characteristic.
Yeah,
but it is unbeatable.
Yeah, I watched somebody put the 6 mana +7/+7 and trample on a Vine Mare.
Yeah, I watched my opponent do that too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Getting boggles in Core Set Limited. But yeah, Rip Dominaria, that's unfortunate. I didn't play it as much as I should have. At the end, I realized how great it was, so I just started playing it all the time, and I was like, oh no, I only have like 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
Format was incredible.
It was good.
Like, actually just so interesting. The Legends thing was awesome. Like, its design was one of the best I've played in a long time. It was phenomenal.
It's a good sign, though, I think, because, like, it was a great format. This is a core set format, so we expected it to be a bit less deep. But then we're going back to Ravnica, which I've heard was a good draft format.
Yeah.
And they've been designing very good formats recently. So,
well, it was, like, the best. Like, the original Ravnica was, like, one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it's widely regarded as, like, one of the best
good
draft sets.
Yeah, good limited set.
Yeah.
And then also the standard format was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Actually phenomenal. And a lot of... We've had like theory discussions about this that, you know, a lot of it comes from having multiple colors be powerful. Like Pete and I, we were talking the other day, we were just like heading home on the bus and we were talking about like what made that format so great. And it was the success of the charms. They were almost all playable.
Yeah.
Rip Dimir Charm, but like even Dimir Charm saw play at some point, remember?
I played it.
Yeah, people played
I won many events with it in my deck.
Yeah, that's something. But like every charm was like great, and they were the power level on them was like insane.
Yeah,
because you know we were talking, and he said, "Well, mono red's so busted now, like it would smash like the control deck from that format, like Return to Ravnica." I'm like, "No, it wouldn't." And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "No, they had Azorius Charm.
Yeah,
put your Kenner on top, put your Hazard on top.
Yeah,
okay, thanks for coming out.
That card was awesome.
Yeah, if not, cycle gain life." Right, like it gained life, like it did everything. Like, but then Celestia Charm also would exile Hazard. Like, all the charm, like Sultai Charm was nuts too. Like all the charm designs, whenever sets are multicolored, are they make it just so like every combination is powerful and you can really explore. So I'm just looking forward to this set because I think multicolored sets lead to fun standard, like really innovative.
I do hope they stick to the whole like lots of good dual lands in standard, like there was last time, so you can kind of play 3 colors without it being a detriment to you, and like it's fine. I really enjoy standard formats where you can play as many colors really within reason as you want. Like Cons was kind of a huge stretch of that.
That was
where
a
you
little
could
over the top.
you could play 4 with like no downside.
With better mana than 2 color decks. That was a little much.
But I still really enjoyed that format. It was a lot
too.
of fun to play. It was super interesting. But good old Return to Ravnica standard back when you had like Jeskai Control and Junk Reanimator.
Jund. Like there was a million decks because all the cards were playable.
It was great.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to multicolored formats. I think multicolored formats are fun, even if they sort of are difficult to design. I think that's part of it. They're probably difficult to design because you have to still balance the color pie correctly.
I mean, are they that difficult to design? Because they've made way more mistakes in colorless sets than they have in multicolored sets.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. It's probably safer. Yeah. Maybe they should just learn multicolor is like way safer because it is a restriction actually. So it's safer. You can print sort of busted cards, right? As long as they're multicolor, because that's a restriction. Mm-hmm. Just as triple red for Chain Whirler is a restriction. Like those restrictions are important, and so they're safer designs. I mean, this is obvious, just basic Magic 101. Colorless doesn't have restriction. This is the problem. So, Return to Ravnica or the Return to Return.
It's I think it's called Guilds of Ravnica.
Yeah. I just like calling it the Return to Ravnica.
At some point, they're just going to have like Ravnica frequent flyers miles, right? Like we just stay there so often that we have rewards programs with the hotels and.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ravnica is like basically the new Dominaria, right? Like old Magic was set in and around the Dominaria and sort of like the wars with Phyrexia and all that, right? Mm-hmm. And Wrath. And then this sort of second wave of like Planeswalkers and like post-mending and like the Gatewatch all is sort of in some way revolves around Jace and Ravnica.
Isn't that like actually in the lore though, that like the multiverse has some plane which is like the center of ley lines or something? And it was Dominaria, but it shifted to, I want to say, Ravnica?
I'm not sure on the lore on that. But it could be, yeah.
But there's actually like, in some sense, a well-defined center of the multiverse. And it was Dominaria. And now it's moved. And I think it's Ravnica.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Let us know.
So, from a lore perspective, I want to know if Niv Mizzet found a way yet. And if he's going to be a Planeswalker.
If he found a what?
Because the whole storyline in the other Ravnicas was he was obsessed
with like finding a spark.
With finding, not finding necessarily a spark, but finding a way to traverse the planes because he was stuck on Ravnica, and he's like the Draco genius, right? And his ego is like hurt by the fact that like Jace, Vraska, and like all these other Ravnica Planeswalkers could leave and he can't. So he's mad about it. So the entire Izzet guild was like Ral Zarek, everyone, right? Like was dedicated to like finding a way for him to planar shift.
I mean, Bolas.
They do have the planar bridge.
Yeah, Bolas has a planar bridge or a planar portal of some sort.
So like, is he going to make like...
Why not just like hit him up for like a dragon-to-dragon talk?
Yeah, help him out.
Yeah.
Because this is like way too nerdy. We're going too deep here.
We got off topic. Back to M19.
Back to getting better at Magic.
M19 limit. So I played one event. I played blue-white. Easily 4-0'd. Deck was mediocre. Adam, how'd you do?
I played 5-color pile in my 9 a.m. Smashed, went undefeated.
Yeah, of course.
Because I had double Manolith, and so I played 16 lands, double Manolith, and went to town.
I mean, why restrict you to only 2 colors when you can play all of them?
Yeah, I mean, my mana base was great. I had no mana problems. I played a base of 2 colors and splashed the other 3. Like my red card splash was like Electrify and Lightning Strike.
No,
my black splash was like couple bombs, and some removal, like just typical 5-color pile.
Yep.
Crumpled and got complaints from every opponent who like hadn't played that long and were kind of like, well, I can't believe and I'm like, well, yeah, if you played like Amonkhet or Hour or like sets that have mana fixing like any of the Modern Masters or Eternal Master, the score. So yeah, and then it's funny, and then I played at 2 p.m. I played like a very reasonable 2-color deck that was quite powerful, and obviously I went 2-2.
Yeah, of course.
But I did lose to Cam in the last round playing for 3-1, where he also, the only reason he lost is he got boggled. That was when he got boggled. His deck was otherwise fun beatable, and I had no chance.
I played multiple, like, absolutely nuts, borderline standard constructed Grixis or blue-black sealed decks, and went 3-1 with all of them, because at one point in my tournament, someone played a Vine Mare, and I lost those games.
And he boggled him, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and otherwise he
I
was
hear
just like...
Hex Pro is so fun and interactive.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Otherwise he was just getting like... Or he was just like bolusing Wind Reader Sphinxing people all weekend. Wind Reader Sphinx is obnoxious.
Man, you had a bolus?
I had
so lucky.
He opened a pack foil bolus after he jabate. This is actually the blow to the
Oh,
week.
yeah.
So I'm going to save this one, actually.
All right.
This is better. This is better. You can just tell what happened to you, because this one is like the blow to the week.
I had
Old scumbag Cam.
I had Bolus, Wind Reader Sphinx, and my first pre-release, I think. One of the, I don't know. I played 5. They all blend together.
Yeah.
I had it in one pre-release, and it was pretty good. Like, it was a good deck. And then my last pre-release was just a better version of that deck. It was also Bolus, Wind Reader Sphinx, but plus my promo was Demon of Catastrophes, and I had an Isareth, the Reanimator 3/3, and I had a Patient Rebuilding. So yeah,
That card is something else.
it is. Yeah, actually,
Patient Rebuilding is like essentially unbeatable.
there was a while where like I had like 5 creatures on board, and my opponent had like 2 or 3 because they had been like trying to attack me, and I'd been blocking. And I was like kind of thinking, like, I didn't play out any other of my creatures because I was like, oh, like, I don't want to overcommit into Cleansing Nova here. That's probably the only thing they're drawing to. And then I realized that if they draw Cleansing Nova, they have to cast it on enchantment mode because they're just going to lose to this Patient
Because it
Rebuilding.
just mills you 3 every turn. Like, yeah, that card, every time I played it, I was like, oh, this game's over. Like, I have enough now that I can just fight for board parity constantly, no problem. And if I somehow lose and go into top deck mode, I'm still going to win because I'll draw extra cards and they'll just die to Patient Rebuilding. Like, it's your win condition, your engine.
They can't compete. It's basically just like casting Electrolyze every turn.
Yeah, it's obscene. Like, it's got to feel so bad on the other side. Wouldn't know because I just cast it against everyone.
Yeah, I never played against it.
When I cast it, it's like the fact that like in limited people play more lands too. So I was like often drawing 2 off it.
I only ever drew 1, but
I drew 2 quite a few.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's very, very good.
I only ever drew 1, but I also drew 1 every time. I never missed a trigger.
Yeah, I can also see this being a card in like the control mirrors and standard that is like a must answer or you die on spot.
Mm-hmm. Until they like you play this and then they bash your teeth in with Chromium.
Talking about playing mill cards in standard cat. Come on.
Yeah, in the control mirrors, that
used to be a thing. They used to board in Fevered Visions and try and Fevered Vision each other.
Why
an old
mill
staple.
each other out when you can just play a massive dragon?
just chromium.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
just do
chromium
both?
is a beating.
You get to board out all your like bad removal and board wipes and bring in Patient Rebuildings and Chromiums alongside your Teferis and counterspells. One of them's going to resolve.
And then they're dead.
Yeah. They can tuck Patient Rebuilding with their Teferi.
You just counter that to very. Come on.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Easy.
You just have it all, obviously.
Yeah, because you're drawing
course.
cards off this rebuilding.
Exactly. You just got to play patiently.
Yeah. And so I guess overall impressions of the format as a whole.
It was fine. Cam and I were both talking about this. We're a little concerned that sealed drafts will be different, obviously, but in sealed, it can be very bomb oriented and really feel bad as a result. Like, there actually isn't a lot of hard removal. Like, if you get Wind Reader Sphinx, like that card used to be a mythic, so it wasn't as common. Like, you wouldn't see it as much. But if you get Wind Reader Sphinx, it feels awful. Like, in my blue eye deck, I had no way to kill it. If he didn't attack with it, all I had was like take vengeance. Like, he just sits there and attack with other flyers, and I just can't win. Like, he's a 3/7 as well, and like green has all the huge creatures, and no one else really has huge creatures. So that thing, like, against non-green decks can just block everything without a problem. I don't know.
It still bounces off most green creatures.
And then we're also talking about like Patient Rebuilding being unbeatable. The Planeswalkers are all like terrifying, and like Sarkin, if it comes down early, is the game because they'll just filter and protect it.
My impression of the format is that, yeah, there are... So I don't think the peaks are necessarily higher than other formats. Like, the Mythics are nuts. Lyra, like, nothing is better than Lyra. Like, they're comparable to power level things like Lyra and other good Mythics. But there's no synergies among the other cards that can keep up.
Yeah, and
Whereas
sealed.
in like, yeah, in other sets, in sealed, if you opened like a lot of vampires or a lot of whatever, and you had some sort of synergy, and your opponent played an uncurved planeswalker, like you could assemble something that could keep up because they also only have like other medium cards.
Yeah.
But here it's like they play something nuts, and you just have a bunch of vanilla creatures.
Yeah, you just have a bunch of like 2/3s and like 4 mana 3/2s. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's fine. But like, it's a core set. It's fine. It's fun. I had fun though. Like, my games were pretty fun. Like, because most games were just like people playing junk, you know? And that was fun. And like, you sort of like get little combos going, right? Like and little engines, like which we're going to talk about coming up here. But like there's various little cool, cute synergies in the format that are quite powerful because the format's underpowered. So looking for those synergies and stuff is like how you're going to win a lot of your sealed games.
And the fact that those synergies...
And draft.
Yeah, the fact that those synergies existed in sealed somewhat makes us think that like, yeah, you'll be able to pull them together in draft. And maybe that like gap between bombs and other cards won't be so big there.
Yeah, but that's just sealed. We're basically just describing sealed. So
Yeah.
like, the format was normal.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I felt.
It was totally fine.
Just a normal, good old sealed
Perfectly
format.
okay.
I had a fine time. I had fun. I had a lot of fun, actually. And we just had a good old classic core set where people played some garbage and turned it sideways. And
I've always enjoyed core set.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's always been fine, you know?
Yeah, I had fun.
Yeah.
I mean, getting fine mared and boggled at like once every 4 rounds is like sucks for you, but yeah.
He's not impressed.
Yeah.
But
speaking of getting boggled,
we're going to touch on the GP that was in Brazil briefly before jumping back to core set.
Some reason there was a GP on pre-release weekend.
Yeah, who knows? But it was modern, and it was won by Mardu. That deck's still great. We all said that's what we would play, aside from me, if we were playing in a modern tournament.
Yeah, you said
a couple weeks ago.
But yeah, we said Mardu with some changes.
Yeah. But yeah, top 8 was, two Mardu decks, a Tron deck, KCI. What's the name of that deck that I can't think of?
The Amulet Bloom deck.
Amulet, yeah. We haven't seen that deck.
In a hot minute.
No. We banned it. How is it still winning games, guys?
Because Primetime is an insane card.
Yeah. And
it's
then
just
they're
a completely insane card.
Good old red-green Eldrazi.
That deck's sweet.
And Abzan Traverse.
That Abzan Traverse list looks
which
awesome.
Is a deck we definitely have not seen
in quite a while.
In a hot minute.
Yeah.
What the last Traverse decks we saw were like
at the
Pro
Pro
Color
Tour
Shadow
a
list,
4-color Shadow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This deck is sweet. It's just straight up like a junk deck or Abzan, whatever.
It's fighting the fair right with Siege Rhinos and Grim Flares.
Yeah.
Playing 4 of the cards it wants multiples of, playing 1 or 2 of some Silver Bullets to get with Traverse.
Just scavenging ooze, couple
a good,
Rhinos.
Good plan.
Yeah, this deck is sweet. I'm a big fan. I think this deck is awesome. Its sideboard is cool because it's a Traverse package as well, right? Like it's got a Gaddock Teeg, a Thrun, Kataki, Eidolon,
and you only need one of them.
Maw.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like Traverse is just an insanely powerful card. It's the reason to play fair, I think, in Modern. One of the reasons you can play fair.
Yeah.
I think it's a better option than playing Jund. I think the power level on Traverse is like makes up for almost everything. Like it's so powerful. The level of consistency it gives you, the fact that Modern is such a sideboard based format, and this gives you the ability to cover a wide spread while tutoring.
Why do you think that Jund decks haven't adopted Traverse?
I mean, they could. Yeah, like why not?
Has no one just tried it because everyone just kind of sticks to the old tried and true of Dark Confidant, Bloodbraid Elf?
Yeah, throw some baubles in there. Put a Grim Flare in there. Play a Grizzly Salvage. Why not?
I don't know.
You definitely
tell me. I'm curious.
You definitely could.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's not a bad Bloodbraid hit.
I mean, no.
Like, play this 3/2 haste and tutor a creature. That's nuts.
Like, what do you play instead?
If you don't know what you want to get a Bloodbraid Elf.
What do you play instead of Lingering Souls?
Faithless.
I don't know if you want.
I'm just thinking like something with flashback, but
I mean, you just play like
looting is pretty good at turning on Delirium.
Yeah, I mean, ways to get Delirium, like I don't know.
What are the 3 mana cards that Jund plays?
Like you could play like Maelstrom Pulse, like
Ewit. Do they play that card?
Yeah, you could play Ewit because that's a sweet Bloodbraid Elf hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of options.
There's ways.
Yeah, maybe that's
Ewit's a nice thing to find off Traverse.
Yeah.
Get back your Traverse.
Yeah, why doesn't this deck play it? Yeah, this should. Ewit for sure. No, I'm saying like that's the kind of grindy thing that Court of Calling Birthing Pod decks used to do, right? It was just like, oh, I got nothing else to do this turn. Like Court of Calling for Ewit, get back my Court of Calling. Like, yeah, spend 7 mana and make it 2/1, but
it's a free 2/1.
It's a free 2/1. Like that's huge, and just keep building the board. So this is better. And Traverse is sort of like a 1 mana get to do that with like some minor deck building constraints, but like I think it's probably pretty easy to get in Modern from what we've seen.
Your minor deck building constraints are you have to play Bauble, and you have to play Flare, which is a 2 mana 4/4. All right.
That also puts stuff in your bin. I guess the difference is that Jund doesn't, Jund, like Cam said, Jund doesn't get the Lingering Souls flashback off Grim Flare, which is a huge amount of value.
Yeah.
And they could play Faithful Sitting, I suppose. But that seems like medium. If there's
I think it's the same reason Mardu Pyromancer is staying Mardu and not going Grixis is because like
Lingering
the
Souls.
additional graveyard synergy out of Lingering Souls.
Yeah.
it's just so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lingering Soul is just a great card. So powerful.
Banned and block constructed.
I mean, you could just splash Lingering Souls and Jund.
Yeah, just play 4-color.
It's been done before.
Definitely been done before. But I mean, like a lot of it too,
that was
though.
back when they had Deathrite Shaman, though.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of what you said though too is like before we started recording, the Abzan lists have sometimes a really good matchup versus decks that Jund would normally not because they get access to Path to Exile.
Yeah. They definitely line up a lot better against decks like Tron. I've lost to many Abzan decks, and I don't lose to Jund ever. It's just, they have access to white sideboard cards and Path to Exile, where Jund can never beat a Wormcoil Engine, where Abzan doesn't really have an issue with it. So it's, if you're wanting to play fair and modern going forward, I really don't hate this list. I think it's definitely better than Jund.
I agree.
Yeah, it looks sweet. If you want to fight a fair fight,
play Traverse, so it's
in a
not
world
fair.
of people killing each other on turn 2, this is probably for you.
Well, play Traverse so that your deck isn't fair. Like that you're not just drawing off the top. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like Traverse is, it's only playing 3 in this list, which is interesting, but yeah, list is sweet.
Yeah, I didn't see much of the coverage from this weekend, but it was,
We were busy pre-releasing.
just another classic old modern tournament. Not much else to say about that.
I didn't play the pre-release on Sunday because I was playing D&D.
Wow, nerd.
I know, right? I haven't played in like 5 years. It was great.
Man, we tried.
It's just too hard to schedule us.
We tried to start, was it Pathfinder or was it D&D?
Yeah. Well, they're basically the same thing.
We tried to start a campaign like last year, met once, and then gave up.
It was just too hard to schedule everyone because people at the time were working like odd hours and like it was like one window in a week and it was on people's day off and they didn't want to But I played some D&D and then I was like, oh man, I got to pick up the new 5th edition book. I guess I know where I can go pick that up.
Oh, where can you get it?
You can get it at the Wizard Tower, Wizard Tower, mtgcanada.com. You can go there as well for all your Magic single needs. They have free shipping on singles in Canada, but they also have role-playing game products and other stuff like that. So if you're in Canada...
Funko Pop figures if you're into that.
Yeah, and if you're in Canada and you'd like to pick up some supplies, be sure to hit up the website.
I guess technically...
mtgcanada.wizardtower.com.
You can still pre-order M19 because it's not Friday yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't wait to go pick up my old Nico Bolas, the Ravager.
Oh, man.
So
they weren't any in stock when I tried to pre-order some.
Yeah, it's because Cam and I got them all.
Yeah.
Damn.
We each ordered 3 on the hope that we'd open one, and then I did.
Nice.
But I still need a
I
4th
did.
Sarkon. I used the same strategy there.
I pre-ordered 4 Sarkin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unlucky. I didn't open anything. I didn't open anything reasonable as far as like my pre-orders packs or prizes. But what are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, neither did I. I think the best card I opened out of all of my prizes was Graveyard Marshal.
See, I didn't even open like. Sorry, I opened it in Johnny.
Oh, okay.
But that's like,
You can't complain anymore.
dude, across like 20 over 20 packs.
Man, you opened a Planeswalker, a mythical rare.
Yeah.
Okay, funny story about
I didn't.
the
Oh, I did open them.
Funny story. So I'm sitting at my build table, right? The 2 guys sitting beside me are kind of like joking about how there's like there's some like unplayable mythics that if you open, they're like, oh yeah, what are you going to do if you cast an Apex of Power? You're going to look through cards, add all mana of one color, then not being able to cast what you flip, whatever. And they're like, oh, or you could just play Omniscience and then cast your Apex for free, and then it's a free 10 mana. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. I'm like, guess what 2 mythic rares I opened in my pool?
Apex Omniscience.
Yep.
Dude, I opened that land that takes away hexproof. I was so pissed.
So I had one of the. Okay, this is
How
like,
else are you going to kill a Vine Mare?
Dude, my 5-color deck was that land, Gigantosaurus, Elvis Chancellor, or Clan Caller. I was like,
Man.
so this is like a mini blowout that you reminded me of. It's not going to be our actual blowout, but I was playing against Shocker Vine Mare. My opponent had one.
Yeah.
And I had black creatures, so I couldn't contest it. But I had the rare enchantment, Metamorphic Alteration,
oh, yeah.
and it chooses, it doesn't target. So I like enchanted my Wall of Mist. I'm like, all right, make this a Vine Mare too. I can block your Vine Mare, and we can trade. And then they draw for turn and go like Detection Tower, take away your Vine Mare's hexproof, kill it, attack you for 5. Just like game 1.
All right.
Nice tech.
Gotcha.
So yeah, my 2-card Vine Mare got killed by a Detection Tower.
Damn. That's pretty good. Oh, man.
Can you imagine putting that card in your...
When I had one, I put it in the sideboard because I was tired of losing to Vine Mares, and I never drew it in time.
You definitely sideboarded it in, though.
Oh, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get these Vine Mares out of here.
How else are you going to beat Boggles, man?
Can't.
Could you imagine? You got to play this card in Modern now. How else are you going to beat Boggles? Put it in your sideboard.
And, it's nice to see.
You could play it in the sideboard.
You can activate it.
Your Traverse deck. Can you find it with
Oh,
Traverse?
Yeah, you can. It's
Is
a
that
land.
how it
It's a
works?
land.
Any land if you have Delirium.
Yeah. Playing against Boggles, Traverse for this land.
So he's got a Bajuka Bog in the sideboard too, which is sweet. Because you can go get that.
Man.
Man, that deck
Solid.
is sweet. Like, being able to get a land is huge, actually. Like, you could play either Bajuka Bog or Scavenger Grounds. Obviously, Bajuka Bog better in this case.
Get this card now before it's too late. And it's $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. You heard it here first.
All right, but so we listed out a bunch of cards that impressed us from this past weekend.
Yeah, no rares, though. We're not going to talk about, like,
There's commons and uncommons only.
yeah, these are the workhorses of the format, Like, these are cards you're going to see and going to play against in
Every time you play, yeah.
So we're not going to talk about just, like, bomb rares. Like, that's so pointless.
Yeah, so we listed a bunch of each color, and we're just going to touch on each of them briefly and fill you all in on why they're nuts. So starting with white, Star Crown Stag is one of them. I don't know if any of you guys saw this card, but man.
I played against
4 mana 3/3
once.
that when it attacks, you can tap down.
Yeah, it mangled me.
This card has been
crazy.
This card has been in various limited formats. Every time it's in limited, it's insane.
Yeah.
There was a time where it was also a bestow creature, and that was
Oh man.
that was
I don't remember what it was
insanity.
called, but I do remember that.
Yeah, that was insanity. But in this format where stats and combat matter so much, it's very good.
Also, just a 3/3 is quite large. Like, it's not up here, but I almost put Centaur Courser in green as like a card that impressed because out of every other color, nothing is as big as a 3/3.
Yeah, 3/3 is big.
They're either all like 1/2s, 1/3s, or 3/1s and 2/1s. So like it's either not being contested or 2-for-1ing in combat.
Yeah, I had a game against an opponent who had 2 Star Crown stacks in play. That's like, it's so obnoxious. You just like you have to have removal because you ain't blocking.
Yeah.
Like,
that is certainly a common I will 100% first pick. It was really good.
I don't know if I'll first pick it, but it's very good.
No, I will.
There are some pretty bad rares in this set, and so I could see weak packs where Star Crown Stag is defendable.
Card's great.
Is it better than our next white common?
Another 3/3.
I don't know. It might be. Angel of the Dawn.
Yeah,
The 5 mana 3/3 pumps your team and gives everything vigilance when it enters play.
for to the turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
+1/+1 in vigilance. That card was nuts.
Yes.
Yeah. At common.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Again, stats matter in this format.
It just pushes so much damage and then continues to chip in the air for 3.
Yeah, it's just a 3/3 flyer's big. Like a 3/3 flyer's already good, and it pumps your team. And it kind of combines with another card. It combines with the like 4 mana 2/2 make it 2/2 vigilance.
Yeah, Gallant Cavalry.
Yeah, which is also on our list. Which is basically just
A better
call
call
the cavalry. Yeah, because you can bounce a return from your graveyard with Macabre Waltz, which is a great card. It just pumps guys like that might otherwise have a problem getting through, I don't know, Centaur Coursers. Like 3 mana 3/3s. That, you got brick walled on 3 and you played this on 4. Well, okay, the Angel of Dawn on curve lets you serve. Very good card.
I was saying this earlier. I think if you're playing white in this format, this is the style of gameplay that you want to either draft towards or try and make sure you have in a sealed pool. Is Angel of Dawn type effects. The other card we have is Cavalry Drillmaster, which is a 2 mana 2/1, give a creature +2/+0 and first strike until end of turn. And these are all things that like you just play a bunch of white creatures that are all kind of medium and can't get through on their own. But then you pump them with Drillmaster or you anthem your team with Angel of Dawn, and you have these other effects which allow you to keep competing in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you beat the green decks. That's how that's just how the decks play out.
Like you play a Swift Claw, and it probably doesn't get through anything, but you give it first strike and it gets through. Then you give those 2 creatures +1/+1 in vigilance and they get through. And so you just kind of want this like pump my team every turn. Or like Inspired Charge. Stelly was killed a bunch of people with that card.
Multiple times in the pre-release I played, I went turn 2 Swift Claw, turn 3 Drillmaster hit you for 5. It happened like multiple times.
That's an insane like 1/2 punch in limited. That's very, very powerful.
I killed so many people with Inspired Charge.
Yeah.
I
I think that card's like medium, but
oh man,
it's not on our list, but
it's just like a one-sided board wipe and it kills your opponent.
All right, let's not get crazy.
It was crazy, man. I killed at least 3 people with it.
You were in blue-white though, so you had other cards on our list. You had things like Thopters laying around and
Pegasus Courser.
yeah.
Yep.
That makes that card better.
I won this game somehow. Where I played against Pete with my 5-color pile. Where he complained about in chat. He's like, I could tell Adam's playing Magic again. He's like, I got 5-color trash pile by Adam. Like, he branched me 2-0. I'm like, oh yeah. But he went Pegasus Courser into the Hero Bladehold Cat.
Nice.
The 4-mana 4/4 make 2 attacking 1/1 lifelink cats when it attacks. Like, that was he went like 2-drop Pegasus Courser, that 4-drop. I was like, holy Jeezy Pete's. I ended up having removal for it. So.
Right on.
But I had to take damage first because I had to take Vengeance which was my removal spell. But yeah, no, like Pegasus Courser letting stuff like that happen, right? Like letting your Oresco Swiftclaw get in the air is like, you know, we saw it in Dominaria, like the Knight of New Benalia was a 1-2 combo with Pegasus Courser, like or I should say a 2-3 combo, but quite strong. So those are some of our white picks.
Yeah.
I thought white was like, Cam's exactly right. Like, it's like okay, but you need reach. And that's your experience. Well, that's how you smashed everybody. You had reach.
Yeah.
Using actually the first blue card on our list.
Which is a reprint from a previous core set, Sleep, the mythic uncommon. But like, this card is on, if you haven't had the experience with this card, it is so unbelievably messed up how incredible this uncommon is. You just take games that are like, oh shit, I'm super behind and I'm losing. Then you cast Sleep and then you win immediately. It's crazy.
It's a double falter.
It's absurd.
Yeah, it's falter 2
It's
turns.
absolutely absurd.
Better than that. It's Falter Fog Falter.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
There's no, you can full swing and there's no crackback. There's no
Falter
consequences.
Fog Falter.
Yeah.
Like, I there were games that were very much at parity, and then I drew a Sleep and I won immediately.
Over the course of 2 turns.
Or I'm behind, and then I draw Sleep. I'm like, okay, I play this, attack you down to like 5. Then they play 1 creature, and then I kill them. Like the card, it was so good.
Yeah, card's very good.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you have to be playing a bunch of creatures and...
Not even. If you have like 2 or 3 creatures in play, it's busted.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have played it in like my 5-color pile deck.
Well, no, okay. No.
I mean, it depends on the deck, but yeah, the card's very, very good.
You were talking about how you were boarding in Gigantosaurus in that deck. That's a combo with Sleep. That's 20 damage.
So I originally in my 5-color pile deck, like I boarded in Gigantosaurus against other green decks because my 5-color pile deck was all, as you know, I like to draft or play in sealed, like in my 5-color decks, all junky small creatures and value cards later. And so I was playing like Mentor the Meek and like a bunch of garbage 2-drop creatures. Like I was playing the 2-mana 1/3 lifelinker, man, like multiple copies, like all to try and make all my creatures were like, I was playing the 5-mana 2/2, like just so my Mentor would be good and I could get value. What was I going with this?
Gigantosaurus.
Oh yeah. But I boarded in Gigantosaurus to see if I could cast it in my 5-color deck. No problem all the time. Opponents were salty, dude. It was great.
I told you to splash it, like as you were deck building.
Splash it.
I said, I was like looking at your mana base. I'm like, yeah, you can splash that. And you called me crazy. And then you boarded it in and I was right.
Yeah, it was awesome. Anyway.
Oh man, that's absurd.
Good. Speaking of like huge creatures, I thought this card would suck, but because you have a lot of junky creatures.
Oh, switcheroo?
Yeah, in blue,
Yeah. So, we were...
I was like quite adamant that this card would suck.
We were curious because switcheroo, so it's a reprint, and Adam was saying that in its previous format, there was a lot of like Thopters and small things laying around. So you had creatures you were willing to give away, and we weren't sure if that would be the case or if like it just wasn't worth 5 mana to trade 2 medium creatures.
Because you're down a card.
Right. You are down a card.
Like switcheroo is literally card disadvantage. It's bad in theory.
But for reasons we were explaining earlier, that there's this like, especially in sealed, this gap between most of what you have and bombs on the field, that it's fine giving them a 2/2 for a bomb.
Yeah, like if you trade this for your crappy 2-drop for Wind Reader Sphinx, like that's not hard disadvantage anymore. That's nuts. And with the caveat, like these are cards that overperformed, right? Or like we thought impressed us. This list also, this card needs an asterisk in the sense that I think it's like a sealed card. Because sealed is so, in core set especially, so bomb focused.
Yeah.
That this is a sealed card. Like I don't know that you would take this in draft and plan on playing it.
Yeah, maybe like sideboard. If you're playing against like some
you
green
wouldn't
deck,
take it highly.
Some green deck that has huge creatures, but yeah, like against like someone just kind of curving out with 2/2s and 3/3s.
You're just
like,
dead.
Yeah.
I would take this and sideboard it in against green decks. But I wouldn't take it earlier than like 6th pick. You know what I mean? If that, like, I'd take it if it was the only card in the pack. But in sealed, you can basically play it every time.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting at.
I got my Bone Dragon taken with a switcheroo, but luckily I had a switcheroo, so I took it back.
Right on. Did you give him his shitty creature back, or did you give him an even shittier creature?
He gave me a 2/2, and then I gave him a Wall of Mists.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You watched that game. That was the game against
No,
where I didn't cast the 4/4, and you asked me why, and then I cast a different creature later. And
no,
it got
that was
canceled.
a different game because he
different game.
switcherooed. He took your angel and gave you a goblin token that game.
Ooh, that's
No,
pretty
he
good
switcherooed
too.
me twice. Okay, in a previous
Yeah.
game, he took a
Yeah.
Bone Dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But also in blue, we have Salvager of Secrets, the 5-mana 2/2 merfolk that brings back an instant sorcery from a graveyard to your hand.
Card was like just great
It's
for
just
me.
better. Like people were already playing to go back to Dominaria, get 2 Chronicler,
Yeah.
which did this for 6 mana and made you a 1/3. Arguably a 2/2 is better, and it only costs 5.
Yeah, I mean the like Get to Chronicler was modal,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean this like mnemonic wall's always, in my opinion, been a cool card to play in limited, and I was really impressed with this card. I got to trigger Mentor the Meek with it too, which is a hilarious 5 mana. I had a turn in my 5-color pile deck where I played Isareth, the 3-mana 3/3 Death Touch guy.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of mana and I had a Mentor Meek, but my graveyard was just a Divination and Salvager of Secrets. So I attacked with Isareth, paid 5, returned my Salvager, targeting my Divination, and paid 1 for Mentor the Meek. And I was just like yelled out, like, man, what a turn. So like I was like, how do you beat that value? I paid 6 mana to get back my Divination, play a 2/2, and draw a card. That is nuts.
so you were
I crumpled my opponent that game.
You were talking about how I had like that Bolus Winter Sphinx deck, how it's like basically unbeatable late that I beat you with.
Oh yeah, you
But
beat
like-
up on my poor 2-color deck. I never
Yeah,
had
exactly.
a chance.
And like, yeah, the powerhouse of that deck was Bolus Sphinx, but you killed them both the first time I played them. And the real powerhouse was that I had Macabre Waltz and Salvager of Secrets.
Yeah.
And it's that you couldn't beat 3 Bolus and 2 Sphinx.
Yeah, that was hard.
Like, in all the black decks I played, the real, like, black-blue decks, the real powerhouse was Waltz back whatever's nuts, because they can deal with it once. And then if anything goes wrong, I can Salvager back the Waltz.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Like, that's just a loop. Waltz brings back 2 creatures. You can bring back something and Salvager, and then bring back Waltz.
Just
and then
discard
bring back
land.
something. Yeah, like, you just, it's actually...
Yeah, Macabre Waltz
Cards
was
forever.
awesome. When
Yeah.
it was in limited last time, it's a reprint, and it was that's a card that I was impressed with. The black card. We're kind of jumping ahead, but on a color, but card is
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
We also had Skilled Animator on there, right?
Skilled Animator, yeah.
Which is the make an artifact a 5/5 for as long as Skilled Animator's in play. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, I had a guy play what's the Thopter, the 3-mana 1/2.
Aviator Pioneer?
Yeah,
Aviation Pioneer?
Aviation Pioneer is a 3-mana 1/2 make a 1/1 Thopter, and I was like, oh, that card's pretty good. Like 2 bodies for 3 mana. Like, yeah, sure, they're 1 power guys, but pretty good. Like having just a bunch of bodies lying around in limited is usually pretty strong, and especially one's a flyer. And then the next turn he played Skilled Animator, and I was like, oh, that Thopter keeps flying.
Yeah, just a
Yes.
5/5 in the air.
That's gonna be a big yikers for me, dog. I'll take 5, and then I took 5. And then I took 5. Then I drew a Take Vengeance and killed it. But oh boy, was it close.
Man.
Yeah, I almost just died. And I thought, like, well, in sealed, you're not going to have enough artifacts, but there's actually quite a few floating around. But in limited, I think this is going to be one, in draft, I think this is going to be one of the key archetypes actually is blue X artifact X. Blue white, blue red. I think it's going to be actually quite strong because, yeah, I mean, you can get the Thopter Maker pretty easily. If you like first pick a Psy, like that you can start going nuts.
Yeah, I think it pairs best with white because you have white uncommons that have artifact themes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the blue white in your the blue white the
Uncommon.
aerial
Aerial Engineer.
Yeah, that's a 4/4 for 4 if you have an artifact.
Yeah. So it already rewards you.
There's also the white uncommon that, like, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you give an artifact +2/+2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that card's
the Dwarf
insane.
Lady.
Yeah, that card's insane.
Yeah.
So I think the Artifact Matters deck's actually going to be like, very, very good. So that's an archetype towards. And yeah, this card really impressed me.
Yeah.
The other card that we thought was insane was,
Sift.
yeah. It's just a massive amount of card advantage in limited.
Yeah.
Card selection. It's just 4 mana is not that much. You can take that turn off if you need, or you can cast it later. If you draw it late and you're both top decking, this is like a massive amount of cards in limited. So it's basically opportunity
Yeah.
for 4 mana, but yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, not much to talk about there. Moving on to black, we had the skeleton combos, skeleton archer and reassembling skeleton.
Both
those
these
cards.
skeletons work great.
There's a lot of like really good X1s that we've talked about already, like Cavalry Drill Master. One we haven't talked about in red, which was Viashino Pyromancer. Like this is there's Thopters lurking around.
There's just so much you can pick off, and it also...
It's just a 4-mana 3/3 on top. It's just a Hill Giant on top of that. That's fine.
And if you're playing like black, you're probably going to have a couple of the Skymarch Bloodletter.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the only 2/2 flyers in the format. Most of the other ones are like 3/3s, 4/3s. So like if that ever gets into like combat with one of their flyers, you can pick it off. Like it's just so good post combat. It's
really good. Yeah, just a solid like workhorse common. Like you're happy to play this card in your deck. It's going to trade. It might just be the nuts. Like occasionally it might just pick something off and it's insane. Like it's just a 2-for-1. Yeah, this card's very good.
And then again, it's 3/3 afterwards. Like
yeah, exactly.
it continues to compete with most of the format.
It can target player too, right? Like
any target, yeah.
It's any target.
Target planeswalkers.
Yeah, worst come to worst, you go face. And whatever, you just have a Hill Giant. That's totally fine. That's
if you just got to play something.
But like it's what I'm saying is its floor is fine.
Oh yeah.
Its floor is not great. Like Hill Giant's not the best, but it's fine. Like you're not gonna be like mad, but it's but its ceiling is very high. So I think like just picking off guys lying around is big in this format. So
it cannot pick off assembling skeleton though.
Yeah, our next
nothing can.
Reassembling skeleton is obnoxious. I wasn't sure how good it'd be, but yikes.
Yeah, that too. I thought they would be like fine. Maybe I wanted to try it, and then I played against like a Thornhide Wolves deck or anything really, and you just block for free forever.
Yeah, I played against a guy playing black-red aggro, and he just put 2 cleavers into play, the +2/+0 equipment.
Marauder's Axe.
Yeah, and just attack me with a 5/1. Block, I guess, lose my guy, trade my guy, bring it back, equip it again, your turn. That's all I did. Just kept all his cards in hand, and I was like, like occurred to me, I was like, man, God, that's annoying. And then I drew Luminous Bonds.
Nice.
And I was like, sweet, gotcha. Like, get this dumb skeleton out of here, right? Like, Luminous Bonds, and then he plays the stupid goblin or
Dark Dweller Oracles.
Dark Dweller Oracles that you can sack a creature and you get to Chandra your top card.
Oh,
Look at the top card and you may cast it.
That's absurd.
Yeah, and then he just did that every turn, and I was like,
I definitely sacked Reassembling Skeleton to cast various cards that require sacking. Blood Divination being the one you're going to see more often. So that's just draw 3 for 6 mana.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Not great, but I mean, in a grindy black deck, that's...
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be 6 mana straight up.
You can spend it when you want, which is huge.
I sacked Reassembling Skeleton to cast Demon of Catastrophes.
Yeah,
that card is worth 2 cards already, and now it was only 1.
Oh, yeah. That's hype. Yeah, no, Reassembling Skeleton is just...
It does so much.
Yeah, it blocks, can attack if you have equipment, and the equipment is pretty good. Like, I was surprised. I thought it was just going to be Garbo, but...
It puts in work.
Yeah.
It combos with like a lot of cards now that I think about it. Like with the Harpy, it keeps growing the Harpy if you want to play it with the black-red uncommon that can sack a creature when it attacks to give you a 5/5 with Menace.
Yeah.
Just do that every turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of synergy with that card. It's actually like very good in this set. And those kind of minor synergies, like I was saying, are what win you a lot of games in this format. So
yeah, we also had Vampire Sovereign, the new coming of Siege Rhino.
Okay, Siege Rhino 2.0.
Don't really have to explain why this one's good. It's a 3/4 flyer with a Rhino text.
Yeah, like
it's nuts.
I was watching Caleb stream last night. He was playing 4 copies in his gift deck.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, just make this 4/4 flyer Rhino you.
The fact that it's a 3/4 and not a 3/3 means that it
massive
can eat most flyers.
Yes, in limited. Yes, it's huge. It's
like,
huge.
It can't tussle with Volcanic Dragon. I think that's about it that you're going to see like often.
Yeah, it doesn't trade with Volcanic Dragon. It doesn't trade with Horizon Scholar.
Sure.
But
it eats all the white flyers, I think.
Yeah. And then, like, worst come to worst, like,
Or
they
trade
play
to it.
Horizon Scholar and they're behind on life because you're ahead
got
and you rhinoed them. And it's a common. You can have just a bunch of copies of it.
yeah.
Card's sweet.
It's uncommon.
Oh, sorry. Uncommon, yeah.
Yeah. And then you made me put Vampire Neonate up there.
Yeah. Okay, so I was like, I don't. So I played this card in my 5-color pile deck. And I was like, no way is this card going to be good.
1 mana 03.
1 mana 03, and you can pay 2 and tap it, and you drain them for 1. They lose 1, you gain 1.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, Scholar of Athros was basically a mythic. This card's just a worse version of that.
Yeah.
I want to give it a shot. But I also had Regal Bloodlord. Whenever at the end of any end step, if you've gained life, make a 1/1 bet.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that is a combo. We want to speak about minor little synergies that win games. I won a lot of games with that. Also, like, I just played that card in my junky 5-color deck, like, and blocked every 1 and 2 drop for the rest of the game with it and drained them 1. Like, often did like 9 points of life and gained me 9. I lost a game to it actually at one point in a guy's black-white aggro deck where we were board stalled and he just killed me with it over the course of like 11 turns. Cam saw it.
Yeah, so he was stuck on red. He didn't find a red source.
Oh, he's playing Mardu, yeah.
He was playing Mardu, but he didn't find a red source. He had only black and white lands, and he had a Banefire in hand. And everybody watching was like, if he finds a red source, he's just going to burn him out. He didn't find a red source. He burned him out with Neonate.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I watched Evan also play it, and he just did the same thing. And we were talking afterwards, like, man, that card has just been like killing people all day. And we're like, yeah, what the because there's not a lot of mana sinks in this format, right? It's not like much to do in a board stall.
Yeah.
That's why
there isn't like
skipping ahead a bit, but like Arcane Encyclopedia.
Yeah, that card nuts.
Because it's one of the few mana sinks.
Yeah, but I actually think we'll get to this as well. I think that like the black-white life gain deck, I can't believe I'm saying this, is going to be a good archetype. Like life gain is good, but it's because usually just atrocious and unplayable. But yeah, like Regal Bloodlord's very good. Pridemate's good. Like there's lots of good payoff on commons. And Vampire Neonate was like, I don't know.
It's not even dedicated life gain. It's all kind of like incidental life gain. Like you are doing 1 to your opponent, or you're playing that 1/3 with lifelink. Like it can do something in combat otherwise to like synergize with your other cards. So it's not like you have to play these like payoffs and then dedicated like gain a life draw card.
Yeah, you're not really into attacking linearly if you're playing Vampire Neonate, because if they play a 2/2 and that's what you played instead, they can double block stuff with their crappy 2/2 and upgrade it, so to speak. But you can never. But you can also just block forever and blank their 2/2. So you got to be playing a certain kind of grindy deck to want to play this card. But man, it was like, I don't know. I thought it would suck, and I was like kind of ashamed. I put it in my deck, and then it was like insane. And I won multiple, I went undefeated with that 5-color pile deck, and it was like the reason I won many, many games, because people aren't going to kill it. It's not threatening, but I just sat there and trained for like 13 with him, man. Like drew Regal Bloodlord, like, you know, late game, like, oh sweet, now I get bats too. Like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Oh, so much value.
Yeah.
Oh man.
For green,
Vine Mare ~1.
yeah, I mean, this is like a mythic uncommon, basically.
You guys wanted to put it here. I didn't have that much trouble with it.
This card is like incredibly obnoxious. It's so powerful.
Yeah. I mean,
it should be banned from this limited format.
Because like one of green's archetypes is
the enchantment deck.
The enchantment deck.
Guys, you can't play black creatures in this format, and this card needs to be banned.
This card is so obnoxious because like, green's archetype is like boggle, like,
yeah.
But no one else really has hexproof, so it's fine except for this card.
Mm-hmm.
And if they put a Blanchwood armor on this card, the game's over.
Yeah,
it has trample.
Yeah,
like if they put Blanchwood armor on, this game's over.
My opponent hit the rare. +7/+7.
And trample, yeah. That card's playable not even a hexproof creature, actually.
That card's actually just like good.
Because there's not a lot of hard removal, and if like you just hit them once with it, it's probably done its job. Like it's so
like you don't even need.
But I think Vine Mare is going to be a card I first pick over a lot of cards. Like if you see Vine Mare in your pack, you should consider taking it first.
Yeah.
Because like there are so many green enchantments that are
feel
unplayable, but you will get in a draft.
I feel like those are the things that you're going to be like, there are going to be like 3 or 4 cards left in a pack, or they'll be wheeling, and you'll get like your Oaken Forms or whatever.
Yeah.
Depends where you're playing, because like, I'm not trying to trash, but like certain players like don't know any better will like take enchantments and just like willy-nilly throw them on creatures and get 2 for $1 all the time. You know what I mean? Like some people just love putting enchantments on creatures, and then they get dispersed and they lose on the spot. So like it depends
if it
on
has hexproof, man.
But but I'm saying like if you take the Vine Mare and they don't, then they just like take all the enchantments on you just because like they don't know any better. Like that sucks. But
I mean, you probably still win.
Yeah, because you have a Vine Mare. You just need 1 enchantment on it to be nuts.
Or a Marauder's Axe, or
cards are really good. So I think it's like
we also had Dryad Greenseeker,
which I did not expect, and then I got buried in a game by it. it just drew a land for them basically every time. I did not think this card would be even like remotely playable. Like thought it would, and it actually just buried me in limited. Is for those who don't know, it's a 1 green and colorless. It's a 2-mana 1/3 that you can tap it and look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you can reveal it and put it in your hand.
Yeah.
Like knowing your top card is already good, but if you can put it in your hand too.
Like it's not as good as Courser, but it has the same filtering effect that like you basically only draw bombs with your actual draw stat. Or not bombs, but like cards that do things.
Yeah.
Your opponents will draw a land, and then you'll be a card ahead for the rest of the game, and then that compounds.
Yeah, like if the game is grindy, you're dead. It's too much. It's a 2-drop that just starts accruing card advantage and makes sure they basically always hit their land drops, and just also have gas. Like I was shocked at how good the card was. My opponent just played it, made his land drops every turn, and then slammed 7/7s, and that was it.
Yeah, it's an unassuming card.
Fun time.
We also have Thornhide Wolves, which, I mean, just fighting the fair fight.
Yeah.
5 mana, 4/5.
So the reason we put this on here was like in its other format, it was fine, not great, not even really playable. But
yeah, it was fine, but like it didn't have the upside that a lot of the other like flip werewolves had that were similar sizes. So like you included it if you were in wolves or you needed something, but in this format, it is massive. Like we've been talking about how all the creatures, like a lot of the things we've been mentioning here is like overperforming cards are 1/3s and 1/1s, and like they're small.
Yeah.
We just talked about how great a 1/3 was. Like
this card's huge.
Yeah. Honestly, like core set, stats matter so much more than a lot of formats.
Yeah, which is also worth noting that this is also why like Colossal Dreadmaw is the king of common green creatures. Like the card is just, it and Thornhide Wolves are just massive. Like
I played against Thornhide Wolves a couple times, and like if you are in the deck that's playing a lot of 1/2s and 1/3s, you have no chance of ever competing with this thing.
And they can just attack with impunity.
Right. And if you're in the other side, like the flip side, and you have 2/1s and 3/1s and 4/2s, whatever, like you have to double block to trade because nothing you have is 5 power. And like, so this is what I was like, you have to double block to kill it. But that's risky because if they have a trick or something, then you'll get blown out. But you also can't triple block to play around a trick because all your guys are X1s. So they'll just do nothing and it'll eat 3 of your creatures.
Yeah. Colossal Dreadmaw the same way.
Yeah.
Both these just big green fatties. It's almost like they just balance the color pie correctly and it plays how it's supposed to.
Yeah. This is the first time green has felt green in a while.
Yeah, just.
What do we want? More stats.
Why do we want it? More stats. Yeah. So it's, yeah.
Yeah,
and same thing with Bristleboar, right?
Yeah,
it's just an extension of exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah, Bristling Boar is the same thing, except it makes sure that you don't blow yourself out.
Yeah.
You just get a creature eaten every turn, or you take 4.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, green is just well balanced. Like take the big beaters and beat down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna lose if you are slow, and then they Starground Stag you and just tap you down. So it's balanced in that sense, Like it's you got to find a way to make sure that you can play early.
And a Marauder's Axe. If you're not in green, have a Marauder's Axe somewhere in your pool.
And just chop them down
so that your one creature can compete with theirs.
Well, yeah, you got to chop down the forest.
Yeah.
Make some lumber.
Yeah. Remove their natural habitat.
Yeah, exactly. Then what are they going to do?
Go extinct.
Yeah, exactly. Nice dino. Get that Dreadmaw out of here.
No, you know what you got to kill the dinos with? Meteor Golem.
The flavor win.
Wow, it's so flavorful, man.
Wow, that's I can't wait to kill a Colossal Dreadmaw with that.
That's elegant design.
That is just elegant design.
Yeah.
There's no other way to kill him. Yeah, moving on to red.
Yeah. Couple dragons. Spark Tongue Dragon, Volcanic Dragon.
They just get in there.
The Spark Tongue Dragon, fine as a 5-drop. Even better if you have kicker. Kill something, kill them. Who knows?
Yeah, it's just versatile. It's fine. Like
Do
it's
whatever you want.
It's a lot of mana, but it's versatile. So
it's a lot of mana.
I thought it would be unplayable because it's so much mana.
Yeah, but there were games where it was worth waiting. Like the board was kind of stalled up and no one was really attacking, and I just waited, and it was worth waiting because then I could start swinging once I killed something.
Like I think that like core sets really teach you the value of like just cards that have the potential to 2-for-1 someone, and that's a lot of our list. A lot of our list of the commons and uncommons that really impressed us aren't just stats. Like the green ones are. But the other ones in all the other colors are cards that have the potential for 2-for-1s, right? Like,
well, but even the green ones, they are enough stats that they are potential for 2-for-1.
Yeah, But like Skeleton Archer, right?
Yeah.
Like Reassembling Skeleton. Like a lot of these cards get value out of their cards. Like Cavalry Drill Master. These are all cards that like create value in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's minor, but in limited, this is how you get your edges, right? They're not just vanilla things. So
I mean, and then, Volcanic Dragon, just a 4/4 haste flyer.
It is
getting in there.
Yeah, it's big. It's big in the air.
Yeah.
If they have anything in the air, they probably can't compete. Like,
it's big. It's fast. It's coming at you.
big and fast.
It's coming into play.
It gets
sideways.
answered by the next card, which I thought was way more impressive in its second go around. Which is Electrify.
Yeah.
Which I think in its original version of like Amonkhet was a bit clunky. Because like some of the best archetypes were like zombies.
It was a bit clunky, and they could embalm things.
Yeah, and they'd get embalmed. Like you'd spend 4 mana and do 4, and then they'd embalm something back, and it was just like, ugh. Like I'm just getting.
It was really just too expensive for that format.
Yeah, whereas in this format, like it kills everything that isn't green. Instant speed, like it's just solid.
Yep.
Because things are a bit pricier, creatures are a little worse.
Removal's a little worse in this set too.
Yeah, so it looks a lot better because 4 damage just feels like a lot.
Kills a lot of the uncommon, powerful cards, the sort of like quote unquote bombs that you'll see every draft, like Horizon Scholar. It's just a 6 mana 4/4 flyer, which normally contests an entire game, but like Electrify picks that off pretty easily, picks off.
Well, they get the Scry still, man. Horizon Scholar's good.
Picks off the 4/3 flyer that gains life, like picks off just a bunch of important things.
Yeah. Yeah, and then finally, Viashino Pyromancer, a 2 mana 2/1 that domes a player for 2 or a planeswalker for 2.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some like red-blue and red-black aggressive decks that are very good, and they're going to be on the back of somebody drafting 5 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a common.
Yeah.
This is the kind of card that we used to smash people with in Kaladesh.
Yeah.
This is the kind of like card that like you just take first or second pick if the pack is like awful, and you just take every copy you see.
I mean, yeah, it's not that different in functionality to Spellweaver Eternal. Like if you think about like the average case of Spellweaver Eternal is that you attack, it trades with the creature, and you get whatever that mechanic was called.
Afflict.
You get an afflict trigger.
Yeah. And this is
similar.
Kind of doing similar. So yeah, I think this card is like good. Also a standard shout out. It's a wizard. It's a 2 mana deal 2. It's good at like insane against control decks, right? Like what they're gonna take 2 and then use a removal spell, or you just keep going.
Yeah.
It's good late because it's just 2 damage and then a body. Like card's quite good. It's good and limited.
Yeah, I do like it. And moving on to colorless, we already talked about Meteor Golem and Arcane Encyclopedia a bit.
So Meteor Golem is on here mostly for sealed. At 7 mana, it might be a bit slow for draft.
Draft is a bit much.
But just as we were saying, like it was worth it to wait to 8 mana for Sparktongue Dragon. Like 7 mana in this format is completely fine. And the fact that Golem just gets rid of anything.
Yeah, if you like kill a bomb rare, or like let's say you just kill for 1 mana more, you killed a Horizon Scholar and got a 3/3 body left over. That's nuts. You know what I mean?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
It is.
Notably, I just made me think. Notably on this list, by the way, like we didn't include like basic removal spells, like Liliana, the Caress or whatever.
Lich's Caress.
Lich's Caress. Like we're not gonna put that stuff on there because like hard removal, even the -3/-3. These are cards are like obviously good. Maybe even the case of Electrify, obviously good. But I just wanted to highlight like how much more it impressed me this time around.
Yeah.
But like Meteor Golem. Like normally I would tell you like do not play this card, but in sealed, I mean, I think the card's actually nuts.
Go for it.
Yeah,
You're gonna get to 7 mana. It's slow.
Easy.
Draft, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But in sealed, I would definitely play copies of that card.
Yeah. We put Gearsmith Guardian on here. I played it in my deck.
5 mana 5/5. Pretty good.
Gearsmith Guardian.
It's stats, man. Stats matter.
It's one of the few cards that non-green decks can play to just be big.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I found myself. So at first I thought,
big hype.
yeah. At first I don't know why I had it in the sideboard, thinking that like I'd board it in if I needed it. I just wanted it main all the time. Like,
yeah, it's huge. 5 mana 5/5.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, stats matter, guys. And
even if you like don't really have blue creatures, it still can like bounce off Thornhide Wolves. Like, gives you a lot of protection against stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we also had Rogue's gloves, which is a reprint.
Yeah, so this is the 2 mana equipment, and I think it equips for 2.
Yeah.
And just if that creature hits an opponent, you draw a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, just draw a card. Not usually this effect nowadays is loot.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Draw a card pretty good.
And their cards are pretty good.
And there's just a bunch of junky creatures that usually sit around that you can say, okay, well, I'm going to make this attack, but And now I can make this attack and put this on this crappy creature that kind of forces them to either block it or like you can force blocks that they don't want because it's so much more threatening.
Or like there's things that can get through early, the Sky Scanner, or if you have a Thopter.
Yeah, there's also like what's it called? It was from the Kaladesh, the green card, Girapur Guard.
Girapur Aether Guide or something.
Yeah, there's ways to make guys unblockable. Like actually quite a few ways in this format to make guys unblockable. So that's pretty good.
Or things like, I saw someone putting Rogue's Gloves on Bristling Boar. So like normally you would want to double block to like trade with whatever so they had to spend more mana. But you can't. Like you have to block this or I draw a card. And when you block it will eat your creature.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I got buried by that card. I got buried by it actually because somebody played it into like, I just played some ground guys, like some 2/2s on the ground, like the cavalry guy. Mm-hmm. And they just played the 3-mana 1/1 draw card and then put a Rogue's Glove on it. And I was like, I don't have a flyer. Like, crap. And then they just drew a card like 5 turns in a row and I just got buried eventually. Like they caught back up. So I don't know. I was surprised. I thought it was quite good. In like aggressive strategies, I think it'll be quite good in draft. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty good. We didn't mention the other hate mares. But they're all good.
They all functioned as expected, which is why
the white one was insane.
Yeah.
The blue one is like good if you want a defender that you can upgrade into a looter later.
Yeah.
Like if you're a slow deck. It's not a good in aggressive decks.
Yeah. Because it's not worth putting the mana into it as you're developing your board. So it's actually just an 0-5
like
early.
You're not gonna
if you're okay with an old 5 early, then...
Yeah, you're not going to take turn 3 off, right? To like loot.
Yeah.
That sucks. But if you're a slow deck, you just treat it as a 2-mana 0-5 wall that eventually attacks for 4 and potentially loots. Like that's insane.
I did attack a few people for 0 though.
The black mare can be a blowout.
Intending to pump it if they blocked and they didn't. So I was like, I take 0, cast something else.
Yeah. So yeah, like that card, all the hate mares are good. Uncommon, solid workhorse uncommons. So that was like our cards that impressed us. We had some ones that underperformed as well.
Yeah, we'll touch on those briefly because I know this is dragging on a little bit. But Take Vengeance on the surface seems like a fine removal spell. In practice, pretty bad.
Yeah. You are already getting hit by whatever you're going to remove, or it's like the damage is already kind of done. And a lot of the time, the things you want to kill have vigilance, or they're not attacking and they're doing something outside of combat, but it's a board stall, so like you're not getting rid of things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like I think you want one of this card, but not
you want
more.
multiple versus green decks.
Versus green, it's very good versus green, but against most other times,
it's medium.
Other colors I played against, I was playing 2 or 3 and like had one in my hand rotting almost every time.
Another one we had was like Ravenous Harpy is hard to make work. Like it's a lot of work. The payoff is like good, but it's very difficult to make work.
The payoff, it's 3 mana 1/2.
Goblin Instigator was like medium.
I thought this card would be good just because like it's 2 bodies, it's aggressive, it's early, like you can...
But 1/1s are just like...
You can pump it in other things, but like, it's just 1/1s aren't big enough in this format.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, even when I had Goblin Instigator on like what is arguably the better board state, where my opponent had 2/1s and 3/1s, so they can't attack, you also can't attack because they just take 2 and then you take 5. So like...
And if you're playing this card, you're probably a deck that isn't great late.
Yeah, so neither of you can do anything, but their creatures are better. So I didn't like it.
Yeah. Inferno Hellion is...
Just like, every once in a while we see this sort of effect. These are just trap cards. It's like a big, undercosted body, but you have to either sack it end of turn or shuffle it in. Or so this one is...
Inferno Hellion is not.
It's a 7/3 for 4. If it participates in combat, you have to shuffle it in at the end of turn.
That's not.
So your opponents just ignore it and it gets shuffled in and you're down a card.
Yeah.
And then another one that underperformed was Dragon's Egg. I saw multiple people have a Dragon's Egg on the battlefield, and I don't think I ever saw the token get made.
Well, I mean, even if not, I mean, the problem is it just doesn't... Like, they're very good at this core set of matching the color pie, and red wants to be generally aggressive and a defender.
Yeah.
What's your game plan? Wait until you stop winning?
Yeah.
And then make a 2/2? Like
if your red deck is at all functioning, they probably won't be attacking you because they are trying to block. And so you can't ever even get an option of blocking with this thing.
Yeah.
Or they'll wait until they have a flyer. Like it just
doesn't fit with like the
never saw it do anything.
Archetypes. We were going to talk a bit about archetypes, but we're kind of running out of time. And we already kind of mentioned like, the blue-white artifact deck, the artifacts matters, like the different way white wants to work.
To retouch on the archetypes after we've drafted this set a couple times.
Yeah, we'll get back. We'll definitely retouch on this when we all go do a bunch of drafts, and then we can say like, well, what'd you do last week on the week that was? And we'll talk about our draft formats. But those were generally our cards like you're going to see in almost every draft and sealed, and the ones that we thought were actually quite strong, and you should consider always taking
alongside
in your first 4 or 5 picks.
The obviously good ones, like still take Lightning Strike, still take...
Yeah, I mean, first pick Lightning Strike if you want.
Still take like the nuts cards, but these were the ones that were either overperformed because of their context in this format, or that we underestimated and did better than we expected. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And we got 2 pre-release blowouts today. Cam, you want to kick it off with yours?
what was mine?
Oh, I got it. I'll tell Cam's.
I already told my mini
So-
one and I forgot anything else.
So they sit down to open their
that
sealed
one, yeah.
beside each other.
Yeah.
And Pete goes, man, I just want to open Bolus and a Dragon Horde artifact so badly in my pool.
Yeah.
Like, please just let me.
So I offered to swap pre-release kits with him.
And Cam's like jokingly after, oh, you want to trade packs? Yeah, sure. And then Cam opens a pack foil Bolus
And a Dragon
and a Dragon's Horde after he takes Pete, which were Pete's packs. So Pete got savagely blown out.
Oh, man, that's great.
That's a classic pre-release blowout.
It was a foil bolus, too, you opened.
Pack foil.
Yeah, pack foil.
Wow.
Not even a promo, just pack foil.
Jeez.
Yep. That was a good one.
All right, so my blow up. I was playing for 4-0 in the pre-release. My opponent played a early green rare Hydra. The green X comes in with X +1/+1 counters. Can only be blocked by 1 creature. When it's dealt damage, it gets that many counters.
Yep.
So he's beating me down with this, and I'm just kind of playing out creatures and taking damage from it. And then he finally plays, is it Valedictus? That's the name of the card? The Jund Elder Dragon?
Oh, yeah.
Vivictus Asmadi, I think.
Yeah. So when it attacks for each player, you choose a permanent, destroy it, and then each player reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent, they put it into play. So I'm like, okay, that's big. So I'm like just kind of playing creatures, and I'm going to eventually have to start chumping the 4/4 that's attacking me so I don't die and making it huge. But so he, I think I'm at like 8 life. So I can take a hit from this dragon and go to 2, and he's kind of floating around 11. So he attacks me with the dragon, kills one of his lands, and kills my biggest creature. He flips a land off his deck, and I flip an O-ring. And
The Hieromancer's Cage.
Hieromancer's Cage, and exile his dragon. And
Thank you.
and the best part
Thank you,
about
sir.
the best part about it was he's like, man, that's the second time that's happened to me today. And I laughed, and then I untapped Cast Sleep and killed him.
It's not even when it does damage, right?
Yeah.
It's an attack trigger.
It's an attack trigger, so it doesn't even get to do
It didn't
the
even
damage?
get to deal damage, yeah.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah.
Rip that guy.
Yeah.
Nice
And,
card. Nice mythic dragon. Get out.
It was funny. Yeah, it was really good. Man. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to mention?
Nah, I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
All right, we'll wrap this up. Thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs. MTGCanada.com for other content, articles, podcasts, Commander's Brew, DWC, lots of great content. Check it out. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on Facebook, the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast. Shoot us a message. We always like hearing from people, shooting out deck lists, etc. Or you can find us on Twitter at DWC Podcast 1. Thanks all for listening. We'll catch you all next week.
Peace.
See ya.